We are all about to enter a $10,000 buy-in poker tournament with millions of dollars in the prize pools. You are about to watch each of our journeys back to back to back in one insane vlog playing the biggest event of our entire lives. We have spent countless hours, days, months, even years preparing for this moment. Let's see if our lives change. Just arrived at the airport. Let's go play the biggest tournament of my life. In bed. Retainers are on and playing in the biggest tournament of my life tomorrow. Today, it's actually 2 a.m. I need to go to bed, but this is crazy. Gotta be the first one to scope out the area, manifest. The dealers are there, but it's just me. Besides them. Good. Wow.
Everyone for one drop. The team is registered for.
We start off our journey flatting ace deuce of diamonds in the small blind facing a button open. I've read that the small blind flat is used more frequently in tourneys compared to cash. This one pays off. We river a backdoor flush, value bet, and get paid. Time actually flies during this first 2 levels, but we get into one more notable hand with a pretty decent holding before the first break. Quick lunchtime hand history, pocket aces. It's a good one. We're on the button. Guy opens to 600 at 200 big blind. He drew bets 1800. You know it, baby, standard. He calls. We go to a flop, king 9-6, 2 diamonds. We don't have the ace of diamonds. He checks. We see bet small, 1200. Makes the call. Turn 9 of clubs, second club, and pairs the board, and he leads into us for 4K. Weird. We just call. We call. The river's magical. The deuce of hearts, that offsuit deuce. That's what they say. And he checks. And I think we gotta get some value in these tournaments, bro. We can't be scared. He let in this on the turn, but we're gonna get some value, I think. So I bet 5,000 small. He tanks, and he makes a call. We show, we win, and we're up. First break, 53-7. That's more than what we started with. Just gonna pace around for the next little bit, and then go back. Oh, and bro, Tom Wheaton pulls up to my table, first orbit, with a camera in my face saying,
"How you feeling? First ever 10K?
We're feeling amazing."
I shouldn't have said that out loud, right? I'm just trying to trick people.
Fully blows the cover. We still love you, Tom. Right as I'm getting somewhat comfy in this $10,000 tournament, we get plucked by the floor man and moved to a different table. I feel the butterflies hit again, like I'm just sitting down for the first time. They put me in the 5 seat, and this is the new guy that's directly to my right. And this is the new guy directly across from me. You know, just a main event champion and a top 3 player all time for an entire country. We get ace-king offsuit in the big blind, 50,000 effective in our stack, 500 big blind, so 100 bigs. We see under the gun +1 open to 1,000, the hijack, which is Masashi, 3 bets to 3,100. The cutoff, cold 4-bet jams for 11,000, and the button calls the 4-bet jam for 11,000, and it gets to us. I cannot feel my legs. And I actually ran a poll on Instagram for this one. Here were the results. You guys said to fold big slick, and I agreed. I made the fold, and the button ended up winning a massive one with a set of jacks. Lots of people, say that I don't bluff, so I understand if those people think in a 10K I surely wouldn't bluff, right? Well, let's see this one, and my name is not Shirley. We got king 2 offsuit on the button. Do not scratch your eyes. It folds to me. I open. Let's steal the blinds. No, both blinds call. Not ideal. Flop, queen 9-3, 2 spades. Also not ideal. Checks to me, I check. The turn, the ace of diamonds, and it checks to me again. This hits my range. They think I'm tight. They didn't bet the turn. Let's rep it. I bet 3,000. The small blind folds, and the big blind, my heart is pounding, calls. Oh boy. River, 7 of spades. He checks for a 3rd time. I think an old Rosie gives up here, but I've got a story to tell, and I plan on continuing to tell it, even in the biggest game of my entire life. I fire the 8,000 chip bluff with king high, a large portion of my stack, and this dude tanks for over a full minute. I did not realize how long a minute actually was. This allowed me to realize that. It's actually a very long time. I feel like I might pass out at any moment, and he finally makes the fold. Wow. Probably not a line I should be taking very often with this hand, but we committed to it, used our image, and got it through. And now for the hand of day one. Ace 4 clubs, small blind, 400, 800, 70K effective, folds all the way to me. Let's open this beauty and take that blind and ante. I raise to 1600, he calls, flop. Queen 5-8, 2 hearts, no club. I decide to fire a one and done c-bet. I think he folds a lot here, all the little pairs, missed Broadway stuff. We can clean up a ton of equity. I fire 3K, but he calls. Fully intending now to shut down. He can win, hand can be over, but the turn's the ace of diamonds. And now we have top pair, and there's another draw to charge. Plan changes. Let's bet for value and protection. I bet 7,000. He calls again, seriously saying a prayer for this card to be black as the dealer peels the river. And it is the 8 of clubs. Yes, beautiful, everything bricks. And calling twice with an 8 wouldn't really make any sense unless it's like specifically 8x of hearts. So I feel great. And now the question becomes, do we value bet? I elect to go into check call mode. Let him bluff with any of these missed draws. I check, and I face what feels like the biggest bet I've ever faced in my entire life. 36,000 into 24,000. Starting stack was 40K today, guys. This is a 1.5x pot bet. My check call plan starts to dwindle in my mind. Maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should just go home. This guy's a pro. He's trying to extract max value. But wait, this guy's a pro. He's capable of having air here, of truly being polar. Everything did miss. I have the perfect ace X to call down with. I unblock all the draws. Is this moment too big for me? I think about it and make the call. Yes, the biggest call of my life, and he shows 9-8 of hearts. My heart sinks into my stomach. I literally want to throw up. I seriously, I feel physically ill right now. I don't feel good. I really don't feel good. I never tilt, but there's something about, obviously this is a crazy situation, but I need to pull. I'm literally walking around Resorts World looking like there was just a death in my family. I need to pull it together. I'm still in. Back from dinner break. No matter how tilted you are, you gotta be punctual and so you can manifest. But we need to spin. I'm not giving up. We have over 20 big blinds. That is plenty. I flew all the way to Vegas from Dallas to be here for this moment right here, right now. Let's play our best the entire way. We're in the big blind. It folds all the way to the small blind, who jams 15,000, 15 big blinds. We peel ace 9 of diamonds. This is our spot. We call, and he reluctantly shows queen 6 of spades. We get it in great. I am shaking. It feels like I'm living in a nightmare. We're down to 5 big blinds, just 5,000 from our 40,000 start this morning. We see Masashi open from early position. We see pocket nines. We see our life on the line. We rip it all in and it folds to him. He makes the call, shows ace jack of diamonds, and we head to this run out.
Where are you? We just arrived on site. Where are you? I went for the walk. Why would you do that? Oh, I didn't want to check in right away.
Oh my god.
Where's my bag? Is that an airport or no?
Oh my god. Is this a sign? I mean, what could this possibly be? All I know is my heart rate has fluctuated more than if I was running a marathon. So I've decided I'm not going to exercise anymore. I'm just going to play high stakes poker. We double up to 10 big blinds, 10,000, and shortly find pocket fives in the hijack. It folds all the way to us. We know what needs to be done. We go all in again. And the cutoff immediately calls. Same guy from the overbet before dinner break. I'm starting to go numb again, but then, as if the poker gods are watching, my big blind savior comes in with the 30,000 chip reshove. The hijack folds, and we are now in a spot to more than triple up, essentially getting us back to starting stack and fully back in the biggest tournament of my life. Better yet is what he shows, queen jack of diamonds. We are not crushed by any means. And our savior, who is Brian Green, he says this before the flop. He protected me.
What's going on? Just trying to help you because you're so damn good looking, bro.
The jinx to end all jinxes, saying he's trying to help, immediate jack in the window, and we're actually out. It doesn't feel real. That was the spot. Cheap. Thank you to WPT Global, seriously, so grateful. Never in my life did I think I'd be able to do something like that. Really sad, but a lot to be grateful for. Grateful for you guys too. You guys made this happen. So I'm gonna show this quickly. I didn't want to show it, but since day one, our goal of NEXTGEN was to show you guys our real journey playing this game. I did shed a tear or two in the Uber home. Maybe some of you can relate. I don't know. Just wanted to keep it real. This was a very tough night for me. Love you guys.
All right, here we go. I haven't been able to sleep last night thinking about this tournament. Walking into the win right now, about to go put $10,500 down on one tournament against the best players in the world. Let's go. Had to show up fashionably late. It's currently 2:17. The tournament started 2.5 hours ago, but that's all right. Got plenty of play left, hour levels. And you know, fashionably late brings us good luck. Let's go. My heart is racing as I grab my chips and take my seat. I'm planning to wait a few hands, play tight, observe the table before I get involved, but I'm dealt ace king of clubs my very first hand. My stomach immediately drops. I shakily grab for chips, raise under the gun, and get defended by the big blind. Please, poker gods, just put an ace or king out there and make this easy on me. We brick. He checks to me, and I know what we have to do. I hold my breath and slide out a single 1,000 chip, and luckily the big blind quickly returns his cards to the dealer. I can finally breathe again. This hand was small, but nonetheless huge for me because it settled the nerves. Now I'm ready to play in the big league. Few hands go by before I pick up ace jack of clubs in later position. A European streamer by the name of Baruzzi, who is an absolute crusher, raises in early position, but he also must be a zookeeper on the side because he came to the tournament fully equipped with a gigantic golden chicken and a stuffed animal monkey around his neck. I'm going to 3-bet him here, and Baruzzi is forced to take action when everyone else folds. I'm okay if he folds, a call would also be fine, but what I really didn't want to see was him 4-bet to 9,000. I'm once again reminded that I'm battling against the best of the best, people who have flown from across the world to play in this poker tournament. I fold, lick my wounds, and wait patiently until we wake up with pocket aces, baby. I raise it under the gun, and we get 3 different callers. It's always pretty scary to go up against 3 random hands with your aces. You don't want to get them cracked, but it must be done. Flop comes queen 6-4 with a flush draw. I started off sneaky with just a check. This one guy to my left bets and everyone else folds, so I make the call. The turn is a deuce of clubs. I check again and he bets pretty large this time. I'm not phased though. I make the call and the river is gross. It's another queen. I almost throw up in my mouth when I see this card. I check it once again. Not sure what I'll do if I face a big bet, but it seems like this guy gave up. He checks it back and I table the aces confidently, knowing I just won this massive pot, until he flips over queen 10 of diamonds. All right, break number 1 right now, or I guess break number 2. We kind of missed break 1, but this is super exciting. We're playing with a bunch of crushers at our table, but I actually feel way more comfortable than I thought I would. We've had a few interesting hands. Luckily, we got away from those aces. Didn't end up losing too much when he river trips on us, but let's go. Break number 1, feeling good. Back to the action, we got 10-6 of hearts in the cutoff, and I open this one up, and the big blind makes the call. Flop is jack 8-4 rainbow. We've got absolute air. He checks. I place a small bet trying to steal it, but he doesn't give up that easily. He makes the call. Turns a 5, which normally isn't a good card for me, but when he checks it to me, I decide to fire once more for a double barrel. I'm not giving this one up just yet. I fire again, a much larger bet, but the big blind still doesn't believe me. Oh gosh, he calls. River is a queen. He checks a final time. A large bluff here can get most weaker pairs than a queen to fold. We block both straights, and all my poker intuition is telling me to bet. But I can also barely breathe right now, let alone pick up chips. Did we pull the trigger? Of course we freaking did. Balls to the wall. We're going for this one. I wager 2 pink chips worth 10,000, and the second the chips hit the felt,
The big blind surrenders. I'm on top of the world, balls of steel dragging on the floor under the table until we get put in our place this hand. There's an early position open from a good pro. I call with Jack 10 of diamonds, and so does the button and the big blind. We flop top pair on a flush draw board, and both opponents check to me. Seems like a good spot to value bet. I bet about a third of the pot. The button calls, and the Euro pro across the table has news for me. He check raises massive. Does he have an overpair? A bluff? Do we really want to risk a huge portion of our stack here if we call and likely face another massive bet on the next card? I have no clue what to do. And with that, I give up and I fold. The button folds too, and after chatting with this guy on a later break, we found out he had 2 overs and a flush draw. And here's my reaction to realizing I got the socks bluffed off me.
Kind of feel like a kid at Candyland right now. Everywhere you look, there's just super crushers everywhere around, like the most famous poker players in the world. It's pretty cool to have the opportunity to play against them.
He's short, but I think he's gonna double up, and then I think he's gonna double again, and double again.
I just ate dinner, but I must have left some crumbs on the table because that's all we've got left. I've got about 8 big blinds in my stack, and I'm dealt ace 8 of diamonds in middle position. I shove, it folds around to the big blind. This is the guy who just bluffed the hell out of me a few hours ago.
Alright, let's see what happens. You got it?
I got it.
You got the ace king part right. Yeah, I wanted to buy it too. That's my only bet left. I mean, 1%. Nice. Live.
Nice.
Thank you.
We hold, let's go. We win arguably the biggest flip of our life, and now we've got a fighting chance. And look at that, we pick up the jellos a few hands later. There's an under the gun open. I played sneaky and flat next to act, and the big blind calls too. Flop is okay, not good or bad. It's Jack 9-9. Big blind checks, under the gun checks, and we really have nothing on this board, so I check as well. Turns a queen, and these guys must be psychic because they both check it to me once again. I've got to wager, but I make it a cheap price, only $2,500. The big blind player thinks it's fair, and we are heads up to a 5 on the river. He checks, let's go for max value and try to make it look bluffy too. I bet 11,000. After some thought, he calls. We show the jellos did us right and chip up to quite a playable stack. Our table gets broken and I move to another for the last 30 minutes of day 1. Vincent and Patton announces that there will be 5 more hands played before bagging for day 2. I've got plenty of chips and I'm happy just to fold to the end. 4 hands go by, we pick up nothing until the final hand of day 1 is dealt. What's the hardest hand to play in poker? You guessed it, the jellos. On the last hand of the day, you can't even write this. I buckle up for the ride and open in early position. A Puerto Rican young pro in late position makes a call and we go heads up to a red flop of ace queen 7. The angel and devil immediately appear on both my shoulders. The angel is saying, "Okay, Jack, last hand of the day and we flop 3rd pair. Let's just shut it down, bag our chips, and attack day 2 head on." The devil, however, has other plans. "Are you kidding?" he says. "This board is all us. Let's choose violence, file multiple barrels, and get him to fold. Don't be scared, you wuss." All right, devil, you got a point. I'm going to choose violence. I start with a small bet, hoping this does the trick, but it's not enough. This guy makes a call. What are we getting into? The angel is shaking his head in disgust as the king of hearts peels on the turn. "Oh yeah, baby, another turn card that's great for us. No mercy," the devil exclaims. I couldn't agree more. But if we want him to fold an ace or a flush draw, we've got to go big. I grab 3 pink chips, 15,000, and place them in the middle. At this point, most other tables have wrapped up and bagged, so a crowd begins to form around our table when people see this massive pot that's forming. Everyone is ready for something exciting to happen, and I'm just hoping this dude folds. Unfortunately though, that's not what happens. He makes the call. And we all know that if we want to win this pot, we're likely going to have to put all our chips in on the river. I take one big gulp and watch the dealer place the 4 of hearts on the river. This card is so utterly disgusting for one main reason. He could have easily just made the flush on the river. A hand that makes a ton of sense is a hand like ace 5 of hearts. Those are hands that would just call an early position open. They would probably just call the flop, and even facing the big bet on the turn, they would likely want to call again once they've picked up that flush draw. "This river card sucks. Let's give up and move on," says the angel. "All these chips in the middle have me drooling." "Go for it," yells the devil. I finally decide to listen to the angel. I give up and check. Our opponent decides to bet 25,000 chips. I fold in pain and would later learn that this player had ace queen of hearts. If the river was a dud and we went all in, we very well might have gotten this guy to fold, but who knows. Regardless, I'm proud to have bagged for day 2, coming back to 18 big blinds. Time to get some rest. I made sure to get here on time for a change. Day 2 starts in like 15 minutes. My table already looks pretty dangerous. We've got about a third of average stack. We're gonna need to spin it up. Coming back to about 18 big blinds. Let's go. We get right into the action. Very first hand dealt. No joke. There's an early position open. We have ace king of diamonds. Here we go. I close my eyes, ship my stack in the middle, and we get snap called. Our opponent has the jellos, and we head to a classic flip that is immediately having us drawing dead when he flops top set. We are busted, living and dying by the jellos. Literally just sitting here, I don't even know what to freaking do with myself. Holy crap. The pain of losing tournaments, especially when they're a bigger buy-in than any other game you've ever played, is so painful. Like, just win one flip one time. I don't even know what to do with myself. I just tried to go to the pool here, got kicked out because I don't have a room key. So that was a double tilt. I want to go sit back down and play so badly. I feel like someone who just lost a Super Bowl watching the ceremony go down from across the field. It's pretty sad to see all these players still competing, but it was a great experience overall. Very happy and thankful to WPT Global for making it all happen. It's down to Frankster to bring it home for us. He's playing the biggest 10K tournament in the history of the world. Good luck, Frank, in the main event. Let's go, brother.
I'm the last member playing the richest live poker tournament of all time. This is the World Series of Poker main event, and I have the privilege to play it.
It's the biggest main event of all time and the richest live poker tournament of all time. Hopefully now we're shooting for 10,000. This record that took 17 years.
In the second level, blinds are 200, 300, 300. We have pocket twos on the button and make a call from under the gun raise to 700. We're heads up to a flop, and the flop comes queen 7 deuce. My heart immediately starts racing. Under the gun bets 600, and I'm going for a raise right here for some value and make it 2,000 to go. And the under the gun player quickly calls. The turn is a 4, pot 6,000, I make it 8,000 to go, and he again makes the call. The river is a 6, we started with 60k, I'm not going to go for the rest of his stack, I'm only going to go for 11,600. He makes the call. We show and we are good. We're up to over 100,000 chips in the very first day of poker. We got 103,000 chips on break number 2. That set was just so beautiful. Glad we got some value there on the end of the river. And yeah, we're gonna keep on playing our hands, trying to get the best hand and get value from second best hands. A couple hands go our way, a couple hands don't, but we end up bagging 101,000. We're back on day 2 of the main event. We've been moving tables frequently today. It's already my 3rd table, and all the tables have been good thus far until I get moved to Horseshoe. Table number 3, heading to Horseshoe. I think we're like 130k. Let's keep it going. We get put with Jesse Sylvia and a bunch of other strong players. If you don't know who that is, he got second place in the 2012 main event. We actually came as the chip leader of the table with about 125,000. We go to dinner break the same. 125k is a good stack, but this last level is going to be a huge test before day 3, which usually is the day the cash bubble bursts. The blinds are 1,000, 1,500. Our first hand, we call a $3,000 raise in the big blind. Flop comes Jack 4-3. Oh, I forgot to mention, we have Jack 3. The hijack puts a bet of 1/3, 2,500, and I re-raised to 10,000. He calls. The turn is a 2 of clubs. I bet 18,000 now, and again, he makes the call. The pot is getting big, over 63,000 in the pot, and the river comes at 4. That gives our 2 pair, it counterfeits it, so now I have to check, and he checks back. I think I still grab the best hand here, although unlikely, and he has ace 5 for a turned gut shot straight. This has not been a good level. We lose a 4-bet pot versus Jesse Sylvia, and we're down to 20 big blinds, heading to the last level of day 2. This was one of the most stressful couple hours of my life. We got 6 all-ins through pre-flop, some over raises, some in the blinds, and somehow none of them got called. We got down to 35,000 at our worst part of the day, but as you see, we are bagging and we ended up around 56,000 heading to day number 3. Let's hope for a better table. We're coming into day 3, potentially the biggest day of my life. We've got 22 big blinds and another tough table. Blinds are 2K, 2.5K. We have ace queen of hearts open first to act. Folds the big blind who jams all in for 49,000. That's most of our stack. That's going to be essentially for our tournament life, but we have a top 2% hand, so we call. He has pocket 6s, it's a flip, and a bang, queen right there on the flop. Run out is safe, and we're still alive. My table, like I said, is real tough. We're back from dinner break. We have 20 big blinds, and we are 500 away from the money. Money bubble is going to come in about 3 hours. That bubble is going to burst at some point. Will we be on the winner's side? I think so. Let's go. I was waiting for a big hand, 15 big blinds. I looked down at ace jack of spades. First to act is a good aggro German. He's had my number. He opens to 8,000 over the 4,000 blind, and this hand is doing awesome against his opening range, so we go all in. There's only one type player at my table. He's a little older, and he 4-bets my all in to 150,000. That's not a good sign for our hand. Then the German re-raises to 250,000, and then the button goes all in. There's a 6-bet and a call. That means only one thing. We're up against aces and kings. But honestly, guys, I never lost hope. Listen to my first reaction when I hear their hands.
Spades are live.
We're 300 people away from the money, and here comes the flop. 3 ways all in. Do you believe? Do you?
Nope.
Oh.
Let's go. Nice catch. Let's go. Good sweat. Good sweat. Let's go.
We just tripled up in the main. We have 180,000 going to the last level of day 3, and the bubble is approaching. Blinds are 6K, and we get pocket aces for the first time of the day. We raise to 18,000. That's a min raise, and someone, I'm just yelling in my head, someone please jam. And like out of a movie, I see the person on the button slide his stack in the middle. As that a dealer announces all in, we call as quick as we can. He shows ace queen of spades, and now it's time for us to hold.
This time. This game.
End up rivering a flush. It's almost 12:30 a.m. now, and they don't have time to finish the bubble. There's only 7 people left before we make money, and we back 277,000 chips going to day 4 of the World Series of Poker main event. We come back to day 4 with only 8 people left between us and $15,000. That's the bubble. There's hundreds of short stacks and even some micro 1 big blind stacks. Everyone wants to make the money, and this was a super fun bubble to be on as a comfortable mid stack. I was chasing the cameras at the end of each hand. Aces kept on holding, but then finally it was our moment. The moment so many people dream of.
Draw card with the jack, aces and jacks. We have an elimination.
Woo! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Go, Roz, give me some. Just catch the main event. Back to the tables. Things are about to heat up. Remember now, we started the day with 277,000. First hand after the bubble, someone jams 190,000 in the middle first act. We came in with 35 bigs. This jam is worth most of our stack. A 23 big blind jam, that's not a thing, but we have ace king. I put it in, assuming we're gonna be chopping versus the same hand, but he flips over. Ace jack offsuit, huge pot for us. 10 jack king on the flop, come on. Okay, we avoid the chop and scoop a massive pot to start off day 4. 2 hands later, we're all in again. Guy to my left tanks for a long time before aggressively folding. The big blind flips over, pocket 10s, dream spot in the main event. No one said this would be easy. We have 900,000 chips now, and Jello is fired up on the rail with us. There's 819 people left in the tournament, and we just pulled out a sick bluff to get us up to 1.4 million. We come back from dinner break, we look down at ace-5 offsuit in the cutoff, we raise to 30,000, and the big blind makes the call. Flop comes 7-4-3 with 2 spades. We have a double gut shot straight draw. I bet 40,000, and he check raises to 130,000. We make the call. The turn is the ace of diamonds, and now he jams all in for 215,000. We hit our top pair. I have a straight draw just in case. He has a lot of bluffs on these boards. I call, and he has queen 5 of spades. We have to hold. River, king of spades. Fuck. Tough hand. On to the next. Last level of day 4. We battle back up to 1 million chips. We're taking a couple blows since dinner break. The floor came to announce we have 10 minutes left in the level. It's my last hand, and I have ace king. First to act, min raises to 40,000. I 3-bet to 120,000. He started the hand with 23 big blinds, so I already know what he's gonna do before he does it. He jams, I make the call. This is right when Rosie had shown up, so we get a nice angle in the biggest pot of my life. Here's the flop. Turn, river. No luck. We get hit with a cooler at the very end of day 4, end up bagging 580,000 chips, which is gonna be 23 big blinds to start day 5. This entire room used to be full, but now everyone fits into this small room. 400 people left between us and glory. Let's go. Okay, we're coming back to 580,000 chips with a 25,000 big blinds. So we have exactly 23.2 bigs. We're short, but still plenty of chips. We've been through the blinds now, and we look down at ace 10 offsuit in the small blind. The cutoff, what we have slightly covered, opens to 50,000. Our only move here is to rip it in, given the positions and the blinds, and thankfully he makes the fold. Tensions are very high. Now we have king jack of spades in earlier position, open to 50,000. Big blind is the guy who we just jammed into last hand. He is short stacking calls. Flop comes 2-2-6, 2 spades. We flop a flush draw, and I don't know what to do in this spot given the short stacks, but I decide to go all in for overpot for his remaining stack, and surprisingly, he thinks for a while given the strength of the hand we're about to see. He calls with 2 red 8s and overpair. It's a coin flip. That is until the turn, which puts me in the commanding lead. River is a red 7, and we get our run good back at the perfect time. 378 people left now, and we look down at 2 red aces. A sight that would make any passionate poker player pants tighten. I 3-bet to 165,000, and unfortunately he puts me on a big hand and makes the fold. Man, I just want to be on this wall with the rest of these legends. 285 people remain between us and our dream. After coming back from break number 3, we're down to 15 big blinds, then 13, then 9. Now, in the big blind with 10-7 offsuit, there's a raise and a call before it's on us. If we hit 2 pair, a straight, trips, anything, we are right back in this game. We call. Flop comes ace 8-7. We flop bottom pair, and I check. The other 2 players check it back. The turn is the queen of spades. We have a pot-sized bet behind. We check, and it checks to the player who just called the initial raise pre-flop. Now, he bets 240,000 into 280,000. I don't think he's gonna have a big ace here, given the check back on the flop. It's polar. I decide to go with my hand. We jam for about 1 big blind more than his bet, and he quickly calls. If we're beat, we should have 5 clean outs. We might be ahead. What does he have? Pocket aces. We are dead before we ever get to see the 10 on the river. I'm in absolute agony in the moment. Nimi came, gave me a handshake after this. He was still playing on day 5. Even though I don't like the call at the end, I am happy with my 229th place in my first ever World Series of Poker, a 5-day run, and that pain that I previously had was short-lived because the next day we went to cash out our yellow piece of paper for $50,900.
Hello? Hello, Mom? Hey guys, it's time to celebrate. It's been 2 days. We officially are in the status of celebration. Thank you guys for watching the journey. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's go!